If you're studying or working in some design field, I think this has probably happened to you. You've just spent days, weeks, or even your nights working on a project, and then your teacher suddenly talks to you about a book that you should read, telling you that you should draw more, or telling you about an exhibition that you should visit. I don't know about you, but for me it's always so frustrating because I'm like, I'm spending all my time working on your project and you're telling me to go do all of these other things when I really feel like I'm just crawling under the work of your project. And I think this is the biggest paradox in architecture studies, but also in every design field. But how do I know that? Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Louise Blanche. I've been studying architecture for the past 5 years, and I started this channel to share the ups and downs of my architecture journey, and more recently also of my freelance design on the side. This place is for our fellow creatives to find tips, behind the scene glimpse into architecture and design life, and honest conversations about creativity, processes, dreams and struggles. If this feels like your vibe, feel free to follow along, and don't hesitate to send me a DM on Instagram telling me about the topics that you're curious about. I would love to hear from you. Not working on your creative project is actually working on your creative project. And this is the paradox. And I think this is the biggest trap that some students fall into when they arrive in architecture school or design school, is that you get so focused in the project that you're doing that you just don't take the time, because you don't have it, to go outside, explore the world, see for yourself and learn about so many different things. Because in design, what you ingest is actually gonna influence so much what you're designing. And if you're looking at really good design and if you're getting interested in it, and if you just learn from it, you might actually get so many results that you would have never thought. So I know for the beginning it sounds really complicated because you don't have the time, but you have to make the time to be able to use this. Because the time that you're spending working on your project, trying to do the things, you're actually not spending it making your project deeply really good. I'll give you an example, because since I understood this, I've been putting less and less effort in the time that I'm spending working on the project, and way more on everything else that I'm consuming, doing, trying. This is why having a YouTube channel, for example, on the side of my studies is a great way for me to get new skills, and actually I'm able to use this in my design work. And most of the time I don't really make the link, but it's just processes that are being incorporated that I've practiced. And for me, having this YouTube channel has really helped me, for example, on some skills like storytelling, or even practicing some photo editing and some graphic design with the thumbnails, and getting to use different software because of Final Cut Pro and then Affinity, and just so many things that come together because of the practice that I have with the YouTube channel that I don't really see coming and being useful, but that I actually use in my design, in my everyday studies. It can be a better understanding of the context. For example, for me, doing an interrail and visiting so many cities in Europe really helped me then on my urban projects to have so many examples in my mind, to get some more inspiration, but also to just understand more of the challenges. And this would have not been possible if I just stayed at home and tried to work on the project that I actually was supposed to do. And in the end, my projects may not look the best because I don't spend as much time on the final presentation, but the truth is that most of the time they're more interesting because all the stuff that you ingest that then comes out in your design. So really, if I had to give just one advice to any kind of design student in any field, it would be to work less on your projects and work more outside. Just stay curious, keep getting interested about things, keep visiting new places, keep learning about them, and try to incorporate it as much as you can. And most of the time, doing it for something that is not your project also can help you, because it gives you a new perspective. But as much as going out, visiting stuff and just enjoying life can seem really nice, you also need to take it into practice. I'm talking about not acting passive. Yes, sometimes you get the inspiration just walking outside in the streets and looking at something, but most of the time you actually are able to do something from it when you start working and putting yourself to work. And that's the mistake mistake that I actually did. So at first I was really focused on the project and spending all my time on the project, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. And then I was more like doing the bare minimum and doing other things on the side. Now I understood that it's good to do other things on the side, but it's really better when you practice them or when you try to apply it intentionally to your design, to your project. And if you're lacking one of those parts, you might not get the best result that you can. So it really depends on the field that you are in or in the type of project that you need to do. But for example, if you have to design buildings like in architecture and you go and visit some cities, then read about it, maybe do some guided tour to understand a little bit more. I did, for example, in Berlin, guided tour specifically about the architecture that was like super interesting and really helped me afterwards. Or you can also stop and draw. So sometimes drawing helps you to understand the structure a little bit better. If it's more about inspiration, maybe find something that you think is interesting and try to understand it, try to analyze it or to reproduce it so that it actually gets stuck in your brain, engraved, and then you can use it again. So yes, it's good to go outside. Yes, it's good to read other things. Yes, it's good to go to other exhibitions or just try new things, but really the most effective is that when you do it or once you've done it, you stop it for a little bit and you actually try to act on it, and this is how it's gonna be the most efficient that is ever possible. It's kind of getting some input, but then you have to encode it into your own brain or into your own design process, and this step is really crucial. And once you have it, you have this big database in your brain and you can use it to have some projects that are way better, to have some way better designs, and in the end just improve your creativity. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. It's been a while since I haven't done a talking video about architecture. Tell me if it was interesting for you. I know most of my community is here for the architecture study part, and I did a few videos on more of the freelancing journey and other stuff that I did, and now maybe you understand why. Because for me, doing all of these things actually helped me in my professional journey in architecture, but also in the rest. So don't hesitate to keep watching also these videos, because maybe these will give you some inspiration or teach you some skills that you might actually be able to use in your own work. So I hope you like this video. Don't hesitate to like it and put a comment down below of what are your thoughts about this, because I know it's kind of a big topic and sometimes a little bit controversial, so really feel free to talk in the comments. I'll be really interested to read you. And that's it for me. I'll see you next Wednesday at 5 for the next video. Bye!